So let's talk about the secret to happiness. Well, many people blame the unhappiness on outside factors such as their situation in life or life events. And sometimes unhappiness is blamed on people in your life. But there are three main and very important factors that influence a person's happiness. The first one is your intentional activity. These are things that you do, the choices we make, and the way that we think. Now, these three things you can make intentional. You can make these happen. Everyone has a set point for happiness, and everyone can use this intentional activity to increase their happiness set points. If we watch and observe people who are generally happy, we will find that they are very intentional and they control things around them. They control their thoughts, they control their feelings, they take care of their bodies, they practice gratitude, they may cultivate healthy relationships in every way they can, they pursue enjoyable interests. Happiness does not just stumble upon these people, they work on it. It is intentional. If a person wants a fit body, they intentionally make it happen. For example, they might, decide to have a healthy eating plan. They might intentionally go to the gym, or they might go walking every day. Regardless of what they do, they are doing something with intention. It's an activity that they take part in and day out, and they work towards a realistic goal that they can use to increase their level of happiness. People that are genuinely happy also are very, very closely guarding the environment. They are very selective in what they read, for instance. They are very selective in the people that they hang out with, mostly positive people. They are very selective in the activities that they take part in. They are always cultivating healthier relationships. They are cultivating interests that they know that they enjoy, and this helps to control their thoughts. If you can control your negative thoughts, you control your emotions. Happy thoughts make it very, very difficult for anxiety to grow. Positive conversations make it very difficult for depression to take hold, opposed to negative conversations that will help feed your depression. Depression wants to slow you down, we know this. So an intentional activity will help you determine the way that you think, the things that you do. A depressed person may have no motivation or desire to do anything and perhaps make the intentional decision to stay in bed. But the same person might also swap things around, and regardless of how depressed they feel, they might still take that intentional activity to walk around the block. Hard, yes, very, very difficult. Feeling uninspired, yes, but it's still an intentional activity that counts. You are forcing your body to move. You are burning those negative chemicals in your body, such as cortisol. This then lowers. Your body is moving, it's gearing up. You are opening up for new experiences, and you're opening up your senses as well. This intentional activity is helping you. Now, a lot of people do feel that when they get moving, even if they don't want to, they notice some positive changes, and this can really do wonders for you. Intentional activity can have real power over your happiness. But not just once, not just twice. It has to be in a routine. And research also suggests that our life circumstances, which include things like our looks and our possessions, relationships, income, social status, these are all important. And they contribute to about 10% of your actual happiness factor. What's more important is how you perceive these things and how they feed your intentional activity. So, for example, if you want more possessions, then you will do intentional activity on your part to allow yourself to make these changes to gain these possessions. If your income is something that determines your happiness, then you will intentionally create more income by perhaps changing jobs or doing extra work, and this will allow that to happen. Life circumstances are most often the factor that people want to change first because they want to be happier. But it is actually said that only 10% of this accounts to the happiness factor. Your thoughts and your intentional activity are very, very important. When you have mastered this, life circumstances automatically begin to change. And lastly, there is genetics. Again, research has shown that we have a set point for happiness, and that is determined by our genetics and is ingrained in our personality traits. People like to use this as a reason for not gaining happiness. It's my genetic makeup, some people will say. It's hereditary. And yes, this all might be true, but it just means that you have to work a little bit harder on the most important factors, which are the intentional activity and controlling your environment, so things like your thoughts. So, step 1, begin by changing your moods. And how might you do this, do you ask? Well, learn to cultivate positive feelings, and every important thing you do will help create resilience. I've actually made a video on resilience, so perhaps you might want to watch this if you wanted more information. Then step 2, change your thinking. You don't have to do this on your own, okay? Contact someone that can help you. You can contact myself, or you can contact anyone else that does CBT therapy or Neuro Linguistics Programming maybe. They will give you steps to help you make these positive changes. They will help you get out of the negative cycle that you might be stuck in, habits and traits that you're portraying. And lastly, we have step 3, change your activities, break your routines. Work on doing things differently in your life. Intentional activity goes such a long way. So there you have it. These are the 3 steps that you can use to begin to increase your happiness factors. I hope that you will find this useful.